Hi friend, welcome to my channel, and today I will be giving you guys part 2 of 2 on how to make legume. Alright, I already gave you guys the first part, so this will be the second part on how for you to make legume, because legume takes a lot of time to make. Stay tuned. All right, so it's the next morning, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn the heat on my veggies and meat. All right, I'm gonna put the heat at medium high heat 7, and I'm gonna go ahead and let that cook. So the legume been cooking for approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. Now the vegetables are done cooked, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove them from the pot and put them in another pot. Okay, do you see how much it simmered down? Like I told you guys, at first it was so much that it was overflowing, but now you see it all fits into the pot, because like I told you prior, it looks like a lot, but the vegetables are not that much for real. They're gonna go down. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna remove all the papaya, all the eggplant, and the coyote from the legume. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna smush them. I'm gonna use my pilon and I'm gonna smush them. I'm gonna do this gently, like you see I'm doing. You see I'm just putting my pilon in there and I'm smashing it down. I'm putting it in there and I'm smashing it down. I'm not really going up and down fast, because it will splash and it will burn you. So you need to be careful when you're smushing it. If you don't have a pilon, you could always use the bottom of a glass or something, okay? You could always like clean a glass and then use like the bottom of it so that you can smush it. And make sure you do not smush it too much, because you are not making mashed potatoes. You are not making mashed potatoes, and you're not making baby food. So make sure you don't over smush it, all right? All right, so then we're going to go ahead, we're going to put that in a different container. And then we're going to take out the cabbage. We're going to take out all of the cabbage. And we're going to put that in a separate pot, the same pot that we had put the papaya and stuff with before we removed it, okay? We're going to try to take all of it out, because, you know, all the little pieces, you got to get all of that. And then the parsley and the thyme that we had put in there prior, we're going to go ahead and dispose of that. And we're going to do this the same way that we did the other vegetables. We're going to smush them, but not too much, because we're not making mashed potatoes. Just enough so it could look like this. You don't want to make it look like baby food or mashed potatoes, all right? All right. So there we go. We have it. It's mushed. It's enough. We good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a half a cup of tomato paste in the meat so that it could give the legume some color. I like my legume to be beautiful and have a lot of color, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put 1/4 cup of oil. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move that all over. All right, so that all of that could get into there. Then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start adding my seasonings and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add 1 bonnet pepper, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a new parsley and thyme that's tied together. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of seasoning salt. And I'm not adding too much seasoning, because you have to remember we had already seasoned this meat, so we don't want it to be salty. All right, so we can always taste it later to see if it needs more salt. I always tell y'all it's better for your food not to have enough salt than for it to be salty, because you can always add, but you can't really take away. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to add all the vegetables we had smushed, the papaya, the eggplant, the coyote, and the cabbage. We're going to put all that back into the pot with the meat, and we're going to mix it all over until they become one as a unit, as you see. All right, we're going to go ahead, we're going to let that cook. While that's cooking, we're going to go ahead, we're going to clean our crabs. Remember the 3 little crabs that we have purchased? Now it's time for them to come and do what they do. Okay, you guys, be very careful when you're working with crabs so you don't get bit. Don't play with the crabs, okay? The crabs is not for play. Don't play with the crabs. Do what you got to do and handle your crabs, okay? I did not show you guys me killing the crabs on camera, because I ain't want nobody to report my page talking about some animal cruelty. I ain't got no time for that. So before I put them in hot water, I did, stab them with the knife, okay? And the heart, so they could have a fast death and they won't be in too much pain. Then after that, I did put some hot water over them, just so that I could make sure they dead, because I didn't want them to bite me. All right, so I did kill them before I put the hot water on them, because I didn't want them to suffer too much. Okay, I wanted their death to be as painless as possible. All right, so I went ahead and after I made sure they was dead, I put them in this container. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean my crabs. So this is how you clean your crab, okay? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the crab on its back. And then it's going to have this thing right there. You're going to go ahead and you're going to remove that. I don't know what it's called, like the butt or whatever. You're going to go ahead and you're going to remove that. Then after that, you're going to go to the front and you're going to see the crab eyes. You're going to go ahead and you're going to remove the eyes because I don't want no crab looking at me in my zeh while I'm trying to eat them, okay? I don't want no crab looking at me in my eye while I'm trying to eat them. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to flip it back, and I believe this is like the mouth. We're going to go ahead, we're going to remove that as well. Some people do like to remove the shell off of the crab. If that's something that you like to do when you make your legume, you go ahead and you remove it. But I like to let it stay on there because one thing, for a garnish, it looks better. And I know a lot of people that like to eat the stuff that's inside of the shell. So I like to keep my shell on. But if you choose to remove yours, that's you. You can do that. That's your business. All right. All right. When we're done doing that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go to all the little legs. We're going to remove all the little sharp, pointy parts the crab got on its legs. So just that when we're trying to eat it, we won't really get stabbed or, it won't cut us or anything like that. All right. If you don't want to do that and you just want to skip that part, then baby, that's your business. You ain't got to do that. But I always like to remove the little pointy parts, okay? And you see the crab, like on the side of the crab, it has like these pointy things like right there. You see them? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit them with the knife so they could come off, so it could soften, so that when I grab my crab, or when I try to put my crab in my mouth, or when I try to remove that shell later on when I'm about to eat it, it won't cut me. All right, that's why I remove that. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go on the other side, and you see all those spikes? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hit the spikes so that it can break and they won't be as spiky. All right, we're gonna do that to the arms. We're gonna do that to, because you see the big arms, the two big claws, they have the little thing too. I'm gonna remove that. And you see at the end right there of the crab, it have that spiky part. You see I went ahead and remove that, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna tap it on here, boom, 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 and I'm gonna remove that. Then when I'm done with that, that's what I'm gonna do, the two claws. I'm gonna put it right there, and I'm going to hit the two claws where it has the spiky parts, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that. And like I said, this is just for safety. Like, my kids like to eat crabs, and those things can really hurt them if they don't know what they're doing, if they try to put it in their mouth and bite them like they would do. So it just make it safer for them to eat it, I guess. But if you feel like you don't need to do that, then baby, just don't do that. All right. Then when we're done with that, we're going to go ahead. We're going to clean our crab with some lime. Make sure you take your time and you clean the crab, because when I cleaned this crab, baby, I found a lot of dirt and stuff on it. So I took my time and I thoroughly cleaned it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the lime and I'm going to pass it all over the front, the mouth, where the mouth was at. I'm going to take it and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to pass it on the back of it. I'm going to just make sure that crab got some good lime, to the point you see I got this organic lime, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick it in there, and I'm going to put some in there, and I'm put some in there just so seafood smell, that smell could go away. You see me putting all that lime juice everywhere. All right. And right here is just me cleaning off the dirt area that I told you that I see a lot of dirt. I'm going to show you guys. You see right here? You see all that dirt? Ew. Like, who want that in their food? That's why I tell you, take your time. Check behind the claws and the legs to make sure there's no dirt and stuff on your crab. Make sure you take your time and you clean your crab, because you don't want to eat dirt. All right, you don't want to eat dirt. So just go ahead and clean that up thoroughly as much as you can. Take all of it out as much as you can. I was able to take my time and remove everything to the point where there was no more black stuff on my crab. And I did that to all my crabs, and I checked both sides. Okay. All right. Just like that. You see how that look? That's how we want the crab to look. So take your time and clean your crab. All right. Or if you feel that bad about it, or if you think it's going to take too long, you can always do it the day prior. But I like my crabs to be fresh, and I want to kill them the day of, so it could be that fresh. Okay. But it's up to you. All right. So now that we're done cleaning our crab, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start seasoning our crab. Well, before I season them, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove them from the water, of course. I'm going to throw away that water that the crab was in. I'm going to go ahead and throw away the limes, because I no longer didn't need them, and they did what they were supposed to do. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to season my crab. When I season them, I'm going to add some more lime juice. Yes, some more. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of eggplant. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 1 cube of chicken flavored bouillon Maggie, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix everything together so it could become one as a unit, so all the seasoning could get into the crab and all the crab could get some of that seasoning. Some people like to cook their crabs separately. Some Haitians like to cook their crab separately and then add it to the legume. I don't like to do that. I like to cook my crab in my legume. The reason for this, I like to do this, is because I want the juices from the crab and I want the crab flavor in my legume. So sometimes I feel like when you cook it on the side, the juices that come from the crab, you can't put it in the legume because you're adding more liquid to legume. And legume is something that you have to let dry up in order to be done. So you don't really add water or liquid to legume because you're just making it worse, okay? So that's why I like to cook my crab within the legume. If you want to cook it to the side and then put it in there, baby, that's your business. You go ahead and do that. But I like to cook it within the legume. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my 2 bags of spinach. I washed them and I'm going to add them to my legume and I'm going to bury them in there and they're going to disappear like they're nothing. It looks like a lot, but you know, spinach is like gross pay and net pay. It look like you make a lot of money, but you really don't make no money. All right. All right. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to take our carrots and we're going to peel our carrots. We're going to take the skin off. We're going to take the front part off. We're going to take the back part off. Then after that, we're going to do that to all of them. We're going to wash them and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to chop them about 1 inch thick, okay? Or thicker if that's how you like it, all right? Then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give them one more wash. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transfer them into the pot, okay? And I'm gonna mix them well. And this I don't really like my carrots crunchy. I like them kind of mild, not too crunchy, not too soft. But if you like yours crunchy, then I would suggest adding it at a later time. But I don't really like crunchy carrots like that. Like I don't like raw carrots. I want my carrots to cook in the legume, okay? All right. And there we go. We're still letting the crab cook. You see I have buried the crabs in there, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of adobo for some more seasoning. And I'm gonna put 1/4 cup of oil, and I did add 1 cube of chicken flavored bouillon, okay? Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix everything together. All right, you could always taste yours. If you feel like it needs more salt or something is missing, you can always add it. All right, so here I have my shrimp. I'm gonna clean my shrimp. I'm gonna clean my shrimp with some lemon juice, okay? This is a lemon that I'm using to clean my shrimp so I can get that smell away. All right, remember we had already divined those shrimp and we had cleaned the front and the back on the first video. So now the shrimp is just ready. We did the hard part the day before. So now all we have to do is just clean them with some lemon juice. And then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna throw the water away after we wash it. And I'm squeezing the shrimp so I could try to get out all the excess water. Because like I said, in legume, you don't really want to add water to your legume because you're trying to make the legume dry up. So you don't want to add water to something you want to dry up. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of adobo. And then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add some onion powder, 1 teaspoon of that. We're going to add some garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of that. And then I felt like it still needed some more seasoning. So I went ahead and I added 1 more teaspoon of adobo. Okay. I do not like to season my shrimp with épices. I don't like it because épices take too long to cook and then it makes the shrimp overcooked, and I don't like the flavor that épices give the shrimp. That's my personal thing. I don't like it. And some Haitians like their shrimp to be overcooked. I do not like overcooked shrimp. I like my shrimp to be soft as like it's supposed to be. So I like to add my shrimp in last, okay? Right now, I'm not even adding the shrimp yet. I'm just going to go ahead and mix it all around. I'm still waiting for my legume to dry up completely. I'm going to let that legume cook for about another hour, okay? Because I always tell you the thing about legume is you have to let it dry up. For legume na shesh, you don't want to give nobody no legume that's wet. It has to be shesh. Shesh means dry. I tell you, if you don't learn nothing else from this channel, you're going to learn a word or two in Creole, okay? Shesh means dry. We want the legume to be dry. Okay, we want it to be dry. Like I had said in the other video, we want it to be drier than a numb. You know what? Okay, we want it to be dry. Dry. All right. So then after the legume, you see how my meat, I wanted to show you guys, you see how my meat, I still got big pieces of meat. The meat didn't break inside of the legume. That's why I had told y'all to get the pieces of the meat big. Because when you get it small, what happened is the legume will cook, and it's been cooking for so long, you're waiting for it to dry up. The meat will be so tender that it breaks into the legume. And then it look like your legume has no meat. When you give it to these Haitians and these people, they going to say, why you gave them a legume and then it wasn't no meat in the legume. You just gave them a bunch of bones. Okay? Haitians is quick to tell tell you that. So you want to make sure you get big pieces of meat so that when you let it cook for a long time, the meat, you'll still have big pieces of meat left and your meat won't be completely broken into the legume to the point where it look like there's no meat into the legume. All right. So I like my legume to be a little spicy. So my bonnet pepper, I do like to kind of break it open so the little spiciness could get into there. But adding bonnet pepper is optional. If you don't like spicy food, or if you don't want it to be too spicy, you could put it in for a little bit, and then when the legumes start cooking, you could remove it. All right. So now that my legume is almost done cooking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finally add my shrimp. After I add my shrimp, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix it all in there, and I'm going to bury the shrimp just like I buried the crab. All right. I'm going to cover it completely so that they can actually cook in there. Okay. I'm going to bury them like you. It's not even going to look like I have shrimp in here because all the shrimps is going to be buried deep down in the legume. Then I'm going to let it cook for about 5 to 10 minutes and it's done. There you have it. Yes. Got John legume na shesh. Look how dry that legume is. That's what? Yes, child. Yes. You don't get no better than that. And legume is typically served with white rice and some type of beans. It could be white. I'm doing white. It could be white. It could be red. It could be black. Whatever type of beans you want. All right. And I will have a link in the description box on for you how to make this, how to make epis. I'm going to have a description box for you how to make white rice. And I'm going to have on a description box on for you how to make this white sauce. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye. Until next time.